Oh my goodness. Hi, friend.
Hi.
It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you.
For everyone at home, I met Alexis last week. And so I am just so excited for you guys to get to hear from her. She has this like sweet, fun warmth to her that I'm just so excited that you're going to get to like experience for the next couple minutes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So hopping right into the icebreaker, what has been your favorite part about colloquy?
Okay, so for colloquy, that is like my favorite part of APU right now. I am in Dr. Mosher's colloquy. I've been in it for 2 semesters, and it's online colloquy, so we all get to deal with the online stuff. But it's really great because we've all made really great friendships. Like last semester, our colloquy was really close. We made a group chat. We have like really funny friendships.
I love that. I love how Mosher's colloquies kind of have their own like culture to them. It's so fun. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it's really great.
It's amazing. Well, okay, let's hop right into kind of like the honors story. How did you hear about the Honors College and why did you decide to be a part of it?
Okay, so I was a trustee scholarship applicant. So I applied in like November, but I didn't end up getting through to the second round. But that's how Curtis found me and like whittled his way into my life. He was like, hey, you applied for trustees. Like, let's like, you want to apply for the Honors College? And I was kind of nervous. I got that first email. I was like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to do that because that seems like a lot of work. But, he was like, hey, we can talk about it. He was super chill about it. And I like got to like see more of like what the Honors College was about. And he even offered like, hey, like there's this interview that we could try for a scholarship. And I was like, that would really help with like my financial situation and everything. And the Honors College in general was like a good financial plan, especially because you don't have to do your like GEs and stuff. So I was like, this sounds really cool. And then we did the interview. I got to know Curtis. He got to know me and it was really cool. So Curtis was like the real reason why I joined the Honors College, which is probably for most people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was mostly the financial help and then also just the cool environment. And I didn't know what it was. Like I literally like wrote those like questions because you could apply through the trustees like essay. You could just like put the same essay, same thing. So I didn't have to like do anything special for the Honors College. So I had no idea what it was. But now I'm in it and I'm like, this is fantastic. Love this. Love being part of it. So glad I joined. So yeah.
I'm so glad. Okay, so now that you're a part of the Honors College, what's challenged you and how have you grown as a disciple through your experience so far?
So the hardest thing for me probably was getting comfortable with like the reading and like having to speak out in class because we have really in-depth conversations about like the reading and all the stuff we're talking about. And me personally, I wasn't really like I haven't been a Christian very long, so I was really nervous to talk about the Bible. So that's where my growth and discipleship really happened was because I've never like the passages we're reading, I'd never read in such depth. I'd read like a couple verses in Bible or like in the Bible and at church, but never like the full chapter, like all the way through discussing it and stuff. So that was where I really grew as a disciple. And I actually, from you guys last week, I took the disciple quiz or whatever it was, a spiritual growth quiz, and found that learning was my, like my spiritual guide or whatever, the way I get close with God. So finding that out and finding out that I like connect so well when we talk through the Bible in class has really calmed me in like my own Christian faith and in my like ability to be a disciple. And like, even though I don't know that much, I still have the space to learn. And there's people that can help me learn. So that was really great.
Oh, I love that. Is there like a specific part of the Bible that was the most encouraging or challenging to you?
Well, the part that I found the most boring was reading about there was the tabernacle. They described like the tabernacle in like really deep. In
Exodus?
Yes. Okay. For literally like 4 chapters, just like there was curtains that were white and they hung in this way. And there was this and this. And I was like, this is boring. And I don't know why I'm reading this. And obviously it has like meaning, but I could not find it. And I was like, this is so boring. But I just really enjoyed like, cause like there's stories that people know, like Moses parts the Red Sea, but there was like little details that I had never heard and never knew. And like, so it was really nice to hear like with Dr. Mosher being a theologian, him knowing like the in-depth pieces. And like, even when we got to the book of John and he was describing, like, he describes like the word and the logos of word, which is like logos is like how like like words are defined and stuff. So to find out that there's so much more than just like the word is God and God was the word, it was like it's more to that. It's so like cool and interesting to me. So yeah.
That's super cool. I love that like emphasis on learning about the Bible alongside each other and having space for kind of the messiness of it. Because the Bible can be sort of messy, especially if you're reading through Exodus. It's like, holy cow, I was not aware of all of this. And so I'm so encouraged that you kind of got to do that alongside other people. And that's kind of been a part of your like discipleship journey. That is so cool. Okay, so you've been in the Honors College for a minute now. If you were talking to a prospective student, what is one piece of advice you would give them?
A piece of advice I would give a prospective student would be to not fear talking out in your colloquy. I know a lot of students are really scared to talk out, and I'm not one of those. So I know that talking out is, for me, it's easy, but I know people who it's really hard for. And you really, truly do learn and become a disciple, and you become a leader, and you become a scholar when you participate and you ask your questions. And even if that means talking to your colloquy tutor after, well, right now we can just private chat them, but next year when a prospective student comes, they're not going to private chat. They're going to talk to them. No. But making sure you understand and speaking out and just being fully in depth in the conversation, because colloquy is really just a conversation with others. Like, it's not a class where you have to fear raising your hand. You can just speak out and you can say like what's on your mind and what you thought of a passage and what you think of the book we're reading. And you don't have to fear that. And that's something I really advise students to take advantage of, is the fact that it's not just like learning from others. It's also learning by speaking and learning by asking questions to everyone, not just because your tutor is not going to know everything, but there might be other people in class who can try to answer it better than even they can. Like, we all are learning together, and it's really great.
Yeah. And like that diversity of kind of opinion and experience in the Honors College, I think is just so special. So I think it's so cool that that's something you're learning. How have you kind of moved from like being anxious about talking about the Bible in colloquy to like having more comfort to it? Like, are there practical steps for that, do you think?
I think one thing that was really important for me was realizing I wasn't alone. So there was like, I thought I was going to be like coming into a Christian college, not knowing how to talk about the Bible, not knowing the Bible, because I would have only been to the faith about like 3 or 4 years, only to come to find out that there was other students who also are experiencing that, who have only been Christian for like 3 or 4 years like me, and who have the same questions. And also having like other students who are really supportive. Like, people aren't going to be like, you don't know about the Bible? What? Like, people are literally like, what kind of questions do you have? How can I answer them? There's like people who are super excited about it, who understand, who've been going to church for their whole lives and are like, oh, I know this story. How can I tell it better to you than like maybe how the book tells it, or how you can find it on the internet? Like, how can I personally make it better for your understanding? And it's really great to know that there's a community of people who wants to help each other. Like, we're not in this alone. We're definitely together in the Honors College.
I love that. And like, I'm someone who's been going to church my whole life, but I've been really encouraged by people who are kind of reading it for the first time, because I tend to kind of just like glaze over it. I miss really important things, whereas people who are kind of engaging with it for this first time just like have this really fresh, and I feel like it's almost more powerful to get to hear about like how they learn about it. And so that's just been super encouraging to me. So that is such a cool kind of insight that you have. That's just like solid advice. I stand by it. Like, anyone who's listening, take this advice. It's really good. Well, Alexis, thank you so much for joining us today and for spending some time with me. It has been so fun to hear your story and kind of like how the Honors College has shaped you so far.
Yeah, it was awesome to do this interview and to be able to talk to anyone listening.